Welcome to Quick Save Club's off-topic show. Savepoint.
Hey guys, welcome to the Quick Save Club podcast. What is the Quick Save Club, you might be asking yourself? Let me describe it to you. The Quick Save Club is a PC-focused spin-off of the Cartridge Club, where for 2 months at a time, we will choose a retro, classic, or indie PC game to play. During these months, we discuss our experience as we play the PC game of the 2 months with the Quick Save Club community on Discord, located at bit.ly/QuickSaveDiscord, and the forums at www.cartridgeclub.org. For April and May, which means we've already been playing this game for a whole month, our first game of the Quick Save Club's second season, I can speak, we will be playing Terraria. And in the upcoming months, we will be playing Antichamber, Fallout New Vegas, Torchlight 2, and Screamer 2. If any of this sounds like fun to you, hit us up on Twitter at QuickSaveClub or join us on our Discord. This will be the first episode on the Cartridge Club feed, and also our first episode of our in-between episodes called Savepoints, where our hosts will get together to take community questions and have a laid-back conversation about anything. And it's kind of just a chill episode. This is kind of like our in-betweener episode, which was actually kind of lined up pretty nicely for us because this is our introduction. We're going to introduce ourselves to the Cartridge Club officially on this official feed, even though I know a lot of y'all have already listened to the show in the past or already subscribed to the other feed. But we are permanently moving over here, so hopefully you guys enjoy the show. We like to get nerdy and talk about PC games. It's a really good time. And just a quick reminder that for the month of May, Cartridge Club Prime is going to be playing Undertale, which was voted on by a community member, Nintendo Hodge. So that option is there if you want to play along with that title. And also, Cartridge Club Portable is playing Fire Emblem, which is on the Game Boy Advanced. I'm sure that'll be a really good time for people who enjoy tactical strategy games. And then we have our sister Best Bud podcast, the RF Generation people. They're going to be playing Darksiders Genesis. If you want to go over to their channel and check out what they have going on. So let's go ahead and jump into our first episode of Savepoint, brought to you by Quick Save Club. Ding. Welcome everybody to the first ever save point for the Quick Save Club, and if you're kind of curious, we are on the Cartridge Club feed now, which is kind of cool. So
Yay!
A lot of people are probably like, what is this crap that's on here? So we got
this crap.
What is
this?
Is this the result of the coronavirus? Is this what's happening? COVID-19 has infested the Cartridge Club feed.
What is this wonderful present that has been bestowed upon everyone? That is what we should be saying right now.
So we don't want to build it up too high. I mean, come on, set expectations low.
Don't expect much, people. We suck. Okay, go on.
No, you're good. So, figured this is a kind of in between episodes because we usually do 2 games per month. It's a game of the month show, which the lead-in little introduction would have said. But let's introduce ourselves because we're new on this feed.
We only do 1 game every 2 months.
What did I say?
You said we do 2 games every 2 months.
Oops, we do 1 game
every 2 months.
Yes. Okay.
Unless if they're extremely short games, then maybe 2. Go on.
Maybe. Who knows? But for now, we do 1 game every 2 months because we're too busy to play a game every month.
Yeah. Too busy.
So we got myself, Josh, also known as Frantic Society, and then we got Mr. Buried on Mars, Kevin over here.
Hey,
and then we got Ryan at Retro Gamer Ranting.
Oh.
So you can kind of put a name to a voice here. So this first save point, I think we're just going to basically kind of talk about
who are we? Why are we here? Why do we exist? And go into detail about that so the people that don't know about the show can have, kind of a crash course on what we do here. So we're a PC gaming show. We focus on PC games. What do you guys think? What you guys have a pitch or? Yeah, I don't know.
Mostly we try to stick to more classic or indie games, stuff that everyone can play, stuff that is accessible to everyone, like stuff on GOG or Steam. There are a lot of games we'd like to play, but unfortunately it's not widely available to people without going to the Pirate Bay or something like that, which we don't want to condone. But yeah, we mostly stick to the most accessible games that we can find, and like we have more of a retro feel and indie. Like right now we're tackling the indie game Terraria, which has been around since 2009. So it's not relatively new, but it's having an update soon. So that's more of an
2009.
I thought it was like 2013.
Or 2013 is it? Yeah, no, 2013. Oh no,
okay. I'm
sorry,
pretty sure it's 2013.
Go back to sleep, Brian.
I'm going to go back to sleep. For the record, if I just ramble, that's why I'm called the Retro Gamer Ranting. Plus, I have a night shift, so I have no sleep in me right now. So forgive me. But yeah, so mostly indie and retro PC gaming right now. Should we plug our Discord and other stuff, or is that more towards the end?
I mean, we do.
Plug it. Why not?
Okay.
We're awesome on Discord. People love it over there. They're constantly they're commenting right now. They're annoying me actually. I'm trying to record a show right now.
Yeah, and then it'll be like really quiet for a while, and then a ton of people just start talking.
So it's nothing but people talking all the time. It's happening.
Nothing but it's a happening place. We also use that as kind of our multiplayer meetup hub if we want to try to get together. We try making certain days, but that kind of falls through sometimes. But we do have a multiplayer section in there if people want to just be like, hey, we're playing this game, or we're playing the game of the month. You guys want to play? We use that to kind of coordinate our multiplayer times as well. So that's where we do that. And you can also check us out on at QuickSave Club on Twitter, which also will have a bevy of information, including when our newest podcasts hit.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been. Sorry, Josh.
No, you go ahead, man.
Okay, I was just gonna say we've been doing this for about a year now.
Mm-hmm.
We just passed our 1 year anniversary. We were doing the game of the month thing. It was a little bit too much for us, so we decided to space it out and do a game every 2 months. This episode that you're hearing, this is going to be our in between, I guess, the game of the month podcast. We're calling it the Savepoint. If you didn't read the title already. You're just like, I don't know, you're just hearing this. You don't even know what's happening right now or whatever. So, yeah, and basically this is just because we want to just stay in communication with everyone, give them something to listen to, and so we can just hang and talk. So this is a less formal episode. Not that our episodes are very formal anyways. And, we're just going to be answering some questions on this one. If you're interested in knowing what our upcoming games are, we have them here. We have a few of them here. For this month
will be the second month.
Right, we've been playing.
Terraria.
Right, we've been playing Terraria, and we're playing another month of Terraria. Then we'll have 2 months of Antichamber, which was a game that Josh picked. A game I picked, Fallout New Vegas, is happening after that. I guess that's in August, if my math is right. I'm not going to forget it.
You're correct.
Okay.
Yeah, you're correct.
Then we're going to be playing Torchlight 2. And we're going to be playing Screamer 2.
And that one,
both games I've picked.
Yeah. The Screamer 2 is like that plus racing game that we picked, right? That's what you were saying?
Yes, I thought it would be good because, again, racing game, that's sort of something that you can play in one sitting practically sometimes. So I pitched the idea that everyone kind of pick their own PC racing game that is their favorite or something and play it along with Screamer 2. And Screamer 2 is just my pick, sort of compare and contrast, because that's an old DOS game and kind of stuff, and just see where everyone's likes are with that. But that's down the line. We'll talk more about that when we get there. We are far away from Screamer 2 right now.
Oh yeah. So we've been doing this for a while, and then we kind of got hit up by the Cartridge Club, like, hey, we're trying to put a little more content on the Cartridge Club feed, so you guys want to come on and we're like, okay, here's our stipulations. No, they were
Here's our stipulations.
they were pretty laid back. They're like, hey, this is what we want to do. We want to be able to do our show when we want to do it and kind of fit it, at our time frame. And we talked it through, and here we are. So that's awesome. We also post the show on YouTube as well. We have a YouTube channel if that's more your speed. I know some people like to watch it at work or listen to it at work on YouTube and stuff like that. So we do have that option for you. But yeah, that first season's still there on the original feed. So if you look up Quick Save Club and you find the feed, you can still listen to all 12 other episodes that we have.
I highly recommend.
Yeah.
What were some of the games that we covered in our first season? Do we have that list?
Yeah, we do.
Yes,
we got,
do.
But I mean, there's some good games there. We got Vampire the Masquerade, we got Minecraft, we got Half-Life,
Diablo,
Duke Nukem 3D.
Yeah.
Lots of really cool games that we played last season. We had only one, I think, that we all didn't like, which was, what was it, Seventh Guest, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
The rest, all of us, at least most of us, seem to really like them every single time. So we try to pick games that we will probably enjoy playing, and then we're like, oh, we want a spooky game. That game looked interesting, and we just didn't like it as much, but we still had a good conversation about it. So we try to.
The reason why we started this is because we're all fans of the Cartridge Club. We love the Cartridge Club, but they seem to ignore the PC games a little bit. You get one once in a while, and that, and we kind of just wanted to do a little more. We wanted to focus a little more on that old PC and the people who are afraid to come over and try games and play games, and they think that their computers can't run the games. We want to show you that there is a lot of games. You don't need a super powerful PC. It's a lot of fun if you have one, and your world is opened up even more if you do. But even if you don't, there's tons of fun to have on the old PC. And a lot of the games are best played on the PC. So that's really our reasoning for doing this. I guess it's kind of like a little bit of a ripoff of CC Portable. They spun off and did Curtis spun off and did he wanted to focus on the portable games, and we're kind of spun off of Cartridge Club and are doing the PC games. Yeah.
And like you were just saying, we do try to pick games that anybody can run. We're not just gonna say, hey, let's play Crisis. Haha, that joke. But yeah, or we're gonna try to play games that a PC within the last 10 years or so could probably play it pretty easily.
Didn't they just announce Crisis for the Switch, I think?
Yeah, they're doing a remaster for every system, and I bet it would look a lot better on PC, right?
Yeah. Oh, I imagine so, yes.
Yeah.
I imagine that.
It's amazing. That game literally broke one of my computers. I bought that game, and I installed it and played that game, and it fried something in my computer. It either fried my video card or something. That was how big Crisis was back in the day. And then now it can probably be run on most people's computers.
No, it can't. That's the thing with Crisis. And I'm going to say something unpopular. I'm saying unpopular right now. Okay. Get ready. Hold on to your hats.
Okay.
Crisis didn't run on a lot of PCs, not because it had such amazing graphics and it was not optimized well. That's the problem with Crisis.
No.
And the reason why it doesn't run on PCs now is because it's still not optimized well. So if there's one thing they could do with this remaster is optimize it.
Yeah, hopefully that's what the goal is there, right? More people can play it and make it run better. So
exactly.
I'll say something else. I honestly didn't find it that fun. It wasn't a fun game either, but
it's okay. It's okay.
Been a while since I played.
Honestly, and I know this is another unpopular. I'm full of unpopular opinions today. I enjoyed 2 a lot more. I had a lot of fun with 2, even though it was linear.
Yeah.
And but I really liked it. I know it was an open world, but sometimes I just don't want open world. I just want that linear. I just want A to B and finish the game. Not every game needs to be open world. And that third one, I couldn't get into that one at all. That was just boring. Snooze fest.
I remember playing the multiplayer on the third one a lot. Had really cool mechanics. You could use your exosuit and it'd go invisible, and they had things that sped up your suit and run fast, and just cool power ups. So that was fun to play with friends. But I never really played the story on 3.
I tried. That was it, just the campaign. I never touched the multiplayer at all.
Yeah.
See the kind of opinions you get here at the Quick Save Club? That's what we're all about.
Oh yeah. They will find out our individual personalities quite soon. Do not worry.
Oh, they already hear a lot of me on this feed. They never get me to shut up. So
yeah, and I've been on since episode 2 of the Cartridge Club, so I'm pretty sure that some people might know me. I don't know.
I'm the X Factor.
You are. Yeah.
I come in on the wind, and I show up every now and then.
Pretty much.
I started off a once-a-year guest on Retro Fandango.
Yeah, we're trying to break that streak and never have you on again.
Never have you on again. Yeah, that'll be a good one.
I figured we'd go ahead and touch on like our history with PC gaming a little bit. We don't have to go super in depth or anything, but like what's like a top level like history with PC gaming, Ryan?
Me? Okay, this will take a while. No. Hey, I've always said, and this is how I always describe things, I was kind of an OG PC gamer. I was PC gaming when it wasn't cool, and that was in the 90s and in the 80s even. But the thing is instead of getting, like, I had an NES, I had a Game Boy, but then after that, my parents had the choice of getting me, should we get our son a Super Nintendo, or get him a PC where he can do homework on? Because, of course, all parents think it'll be good for his learning, right? The computer will be great. He can learn on the computer. And all I used it for was playing video games. So I've been playing games for a long time, so it would always be kind of awkward. I'd go out during recess, during school, and everyone would be talking about Contra and Mario and Zelda. And I'd be like, hey, has anyone played the new Jazz Jackrabbit game or Joe of the Jungle? Luckily, there were people who knew about Doom and Wolfenstein, but yeah. So I've always considered myself a very OG PC gamer. I remember having, there was no Windows. You had to type in what you needed to get the game to run .exe, that kind of stuff. It was always a pain in the butt, but I enjoyed it. I loved it. So I'm pretty old school, and so I have some fond memories, and sometimes that does come back to bite me when I go back to play an old DOS game, and you kind of realize, well, maybe these games, are being looked at with rose-colored glasses, but they're my rose-colored glasses, so I enjoy them greatly. So some of the genres I enjoyed the most, always been a first-person shooter fan, always just everything. Of course, Doom, Wolfenstein, Duke 3D. Unreal Tournament, all those things. I grew up on those, and those were kind of my go-to games back in the day. So that's a little bit for me. I'm old school, and I will continue to be for the rest of my life.
Nice. What about you, Kevin?
My history mirrors Ryan's a lot. I started on the VIC-20 and Commodore 64 when all the other kids had the Nintendo. First it was the Atari 2600, then the Nintendo. And same thing, they were all talking about Contra or Double Dragon or whatever it was, and I would be playing, Duke Nukem, like the original 2D Duke Nukem, or Commander Keen or whatever. But for me, yeah, like my parents were very much like they just didn't believe in consoles. They didn't believe in buying a machine that could only play games. If you're going to spend that kind of money, you're going to spend it on something that can do other things than just play games. So they were very big on computers. And I remember playing Wolfenstein 3D for the first time, my very first first-person shooter. And I was like, oh, man, I'm at home. This is my kind of game. I don't have to jump. I don't have to think of like platforms and stuff. I could just run around and kill Nazis, and it was my kind of game. And Doom came out, and I was really big into first-person shooters throughout the 90s. I went to college, and so there's a bit of a hole there because I didn't have a lot of money. So I came back to like Quake 2 and Duke Nukem 3D later in the 90s. And then I remember the computer that I bought kind of crapped out like in around 2002. It was like I couldn't play like the original Xbox games that were coming out, like Grand Theft Auto 3. I remember that was a game I kept hearing about. Everybody was playing Grand Theft Auto 3. My computer couldn't run it. So at that point, I kind of got away from PC gaming. It was getting very expensive too, with all the parts and all that. And for a long time, for about 10 years, I went back. I was a console guy. I pretty much played Xbox consoles. And then in 2011, I got a PC again. I wanted to get into YouTube and that, so I got a PC that could do video graphics. And it just happened it could do computer games as well. And the world of Steam was opened up to me. And slowly, since 2011 to now, like it's shifted all the way back to PC gaming, and PC gaming is where I do most of my gaming now. I can't even tell you I think the last console game I bought was Breath of the Wild for the Wii U.
Nice.
No. And another thing, and sorry, I'm not trying to step, but another thing that was great about being old school is we had something called shareware, which is something you didn't have if you played on console or anything like that. And shareware was great. It wasn't a demo. A demo is like one level. Shareware games, you'd get an entire episode. Because back then, when a game would be released, it would be kind of episodic. You know, the first, and an entire episode would be like anywhere from 6 to 8 levels. It would have a start and end, a final boss. And what that would do is it'd give you a taste of the pie and say, hey, you want more of this? Then buy the rest of it. You know, that kind of thing. And that was really cool. And I think that was one of the benefits of being a PC gamer is, you know, you didn't just get like one or two. Because I remember I'd go over to my cousin's house and he would have one of those demo discs for the PlayStation. Remember those?
Oh, yeah.
And those would be like one level. And that would be it, you know, or something like that. Or a low-res trailer of the game. And I'd just be like, oh, yeah, well, I could play an entire episode at home if I go and, you know. But so that was another real benefit being an old school PC gamer.
Forget shareware. My dad used to come home with a blank floppy full of games from work for the Commodore 64. Those were good times, man. And it'd be the full games. Piracy was very easy back then. Yeah. What about you, Josh? What's your PC background?
I'm a little younger, so I don't have all the
a little
bit,
younger,
just a little.
The other day you said the episode 1 of Star Wars was the one you watched the most because you were 9 when it came out.
Yeah, I was like 9 or 10, I think. It's like, what did it come out? 2000, 2001, something like that.
1999.
Okay, I was 9.
I graduated high school the year that came out.
Yeah, I was 9 when that came out. So
I graduated, had finished graduating college, and I was working my first job in my profession.
Nice. Well, so I don't have a lot of the nostalgia for the real old stuff, but I do love Valve games. That was probably my first PC games that I played and really got into. I played, Half-Life 2 and the episodes and Portal and Team Fortress 2. Me and my buddies would love to play Half-Life Deathmatch. I know that's just our Half-Life 2 Deathmatch, which is kind of a weird multiplayer mode of Half-Life 2, but I just kind of would tinker around with PC gaming. I didn't really do a lot of it. I wouldn't say like as much as some people, but I have always liked keyboard and mouse controls. I'm a huge fan of like hit scan weapons in games. I used to play a lot of that Tribes reboot that came out, I guess 2010 or whatever it was. And that game was a lot of fun. I put dozens of hours into that and played Minecraft on PC because I could mod it. And I just kind of like PC gaming as a complement to my console gaming because I like to play Nintendo and PlayStation and all that. So when there's a really cool PC game, I like to, sit down and enjoy it. And this whole experience with the Quick Save Club has gotten me going back into the catalog and trying out old PC games that I say, oh, one day I'm going to try that out. And I never did. But now I have some games I could probably put on top 10 lists, from this podcast that are PC exclusives or better on PC. So it's been really awesome for me.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to say thanks to the Cartridge Club crew for letting us be on the podcast feed. Pretty excited. It's pretty cool.
Yay. Yep. Very nice.
Yeah. And I wanted to introduce our segment called Browser History.
This isn't good. I didn't know this was coming up.
You just come up with the greatest titles, I tell you.
All right. Well,
No,
let me check my history. Here we go. Well, I was Bible study right
Bible
here.
study.
Bible study 101.
There you go.
Yeah. No
Did
Bible.
you, go to your incognito tab and look. Okay.
Oh, not going there.
No, not going there. Mine right now is a bunch of stuff for school for my kids, basically, and YouTube videos. It's mostly homework assignments for my children because of all of what. But
honestly, what the segment is what we've been doing, kind of just like to bullshit, right? Talk about what we've been playing, any Steam sales you got. If it's PC gaming related, sure. If it's not, oh well. But it's just what's going on. How's everybody doing? That's pretty much all it is.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ryan, you go first. Sure.
I go first.
Sure, why not? Yeah. Then we can cut you off and more easily.
Cut me. All right. Well, I guess what I've been playing, I've been diving into Terraria because obviously it's the game of the month, and then Terraria is one of those games where once I dive back into it, I can't really stop. So I've been just sort of going on that. I've been looking up a bunch. Terraria has an update coming up soon, coming this month, I think on the 15th or the 14th, and it's going to be the last major update.
Awesome timing, right?
Awesome timing. Plus, today, I just tweeted it before we did this podcast, apparently a free DLC, a mod extension, where it will easily allow you to mod Terraria, will also be available when the final update, Journey's End is what it's called, for Terraria is. And so it's going to have modding support, over 1,000 new items. It's going to have texture support. You can import your own textures into the game. So that's going to be freaking cool. So I've just kind of been researching that, just diving into Terraria more, trying to convince people to turn our server into hard mode any way I can, but no one's ever on when I want to turn it into hard mode.
I'm scared. I'm kind of scared too.
It's scary, but it's going to be great. But I don't want to just go and turn it into hard mode by myself. I know what hard mode is. I know what the boss is. I need a bunch of noobs to be in there with me to fight the wall of flesh and do that stuff. So I'm trying to get that going. Other than that, mostly just work and helping my kids with schoolwork and stuff. I have been playing some kind of PlayStation 1 emulator games. But
I have too. I've been doing the same thing.
Yeah, I for some odd reason, I just got the itch. Like, I downloaded a mod. Somebody modded an old game I used to enjoy playing and gave it a new thing. And so I downloaded the ROM to it and been messing with that. And so I just sort of been diving into the old world of PS1 ROMs and EMUs. Obviously, all ones I own. So besides the one that was modded.
Oh, not me. I've been trying to find anything I don't own.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely. So I went old school in that way. Other games, periodically when my kids will let me play it, I have been, I know it's not PC related, but I have been playing Mario Maker 2 because that just had an update as well.
Yeah, it's fun.
But so that's been kind of it. Nothing too sudden. A lot of free games right now, thanks to everything going on. So I know people have been posting that on our Discord. So go look on there with gaming deals. But it just seems like there's a new free game every week from all over the place. So go grab those. None of them I played yet, but there's those. So that's basically what I've been doing.
Sweet. What you been up to, Kevin?
Well, for me, like Ryan mentioned, the PS1 emulators, if anyone knows me, lately I've been on a Jackie Chan kick, and I've started researching some Jackie Chan video games. And the last one that came out, other than some Game Boy Advance ones, was on the PS1, Jackie Chan Stunt Master, I think it's called.
Oh my God, you played that game? Is it good?
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I have not emulated console games in a very long time.
Okay.
Just because I just haven't had any interest. And it's kind of changed a lot since the last time I emulated those kind of games. Because before it was like, every if you needed a PlayStation emulator, you go download a PlayStation emulator. You might have a few to try out or whatever.
Yeah.
And now there's this thing called RetroArch,
I was
where
messing with that this month too. RetroArch.
Yeah, where it just takes all the emulators and puts them all in one package. So you load up. I can't remember what it's called. They call it something, but you load up. Basically, you load up the emulator, and you can download like 2 or 3 different ones to try, because you get different results for each one. And within that, it will do all the upscaling and all that. Like RetroArch does it itself. So the emulator runs the game, and then RetroArch does like all the cleaning up the graphics and smoothing everything out. And it's so streamlined, so much easier. And man, yeah, I played Jackie Chan Stuntmaster. I think it didn't get very good reviews. I don't know if it's because I'm playing it on an emulator. Maybe it improved the frame rate or something like that. I never look at the old reviews to see what the issues were, but it's a fun little beat 'em up. I had a lot of fun with it. It only took a few hours maybe 5 or 6 hours to play through. It definitely helped that there were some save states in some situations, because I didn't abuse them. But there was. The platforming in it is very janky, I'll say. And so there were none of the bosses were as frustrating as the platforming, and some save states helped me get through that. And I don't care. I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, you didn't really beat it" or whatever. I don't care what you say. I don't care. Yeah. I was having fun with the game, and I had fun all the way through it. And save states helped me get through it.
Let's face it, one of the most frustrating things of old consoles was the fact that you couldn't save anywhere, and they would have the worst checkpoints. And so that's how I justified it.
I remember the worst checkpoint was in Turok 2. I remember there was like an hour between checkpoints, like a little hour. And I would sit there and I'm like, how am I going to get all the way through this for an hour? I'm going to have to sit here and play this game. I didn't have a lot of time back then to play video games. Now I probably would do it, but back then, and on the PC, it was just like, you hit the F5 to save wherever you needed to save. So now it's nice to have that on the consoles, because you can pretty much just save wherever you want. I try not to abuse it though. I only feel like if the game is getting like those janky, platforming bits, I'm like, yeah, this is kind of, it's the game's being kind of a little bit cheap right now, so I didn't mind using them through there. But I beat all the bosses legit and all that. But yeah, it was a fun little game. I mean, the cutscenes, I'm not big on cutscenes, but they were short and they were actually funny. It had that Jackie Chan sense of humor in it. All the bosses, all the characters in it all had that fun sense of humor. And then at the end of the game, this was the best part. This isn't a spoiler. This is a teaser. At the end of the game, they did, how at the end of a Jackie Chan movie, you have the takeouts and that, right? All the mistakes and everything like that.
Yeah.
Well, within the game engine, they recreated those scenes, awesome. And they made it kind of like how Disney would do at the end of or Pixar would do at the end of their movies. Kind of the same thing. And it was fun. It was worth playing the game just to get to all that. I wasn't expecting it, so I was like, oh man, that's really cool. It was a fun little game,
Jackie Chan's amazing.
I think to buy it used, it was I think it's $60 now, Canadian. Yeah. So that was way too much. For a 20-year-old game, I wasn't going to spend that much. But so yeah, I played through that, and then I saw Jason Heine was playing Baja HD, the remaster. Mm-hmm. There's like a big 3-hour long marathon in that game, and that's what he was doing. He did the whole 3-hour marathon thing because he figured that since everybody's off, this is the time to do it, kind of thing. Not everybody. I know we're all essential workers here, but for people like him who are off.
Exactly.
I fired.
Sorry, go ahead.
I fired up that game and started playing. That is a really. I'm big on my racing games. That's a really good racing game. It came out in 2008. It holds up. It's really fun. It's got, generally with your it's all in the dirt, right? And generally with those kind of games, it's a little slippery. It's a tight racer. And don't need to use the brake because the physics in the game are such that if you let go, you're in deep sand. So the car slows down right away. Okay. Unless you're on pavement, then you kind of need to use the brakes and that. So it's really good physics in it. I really enjoyed it. That's pretty much it. I've been playing Uncharted 3 on the PS4 because they put it out for free, so I've been messing around with that.
Yeah.
I did finish Uncharted 2 as well. Yeah, they're okay. They're okay games. I've kind of softened on those. I kind of hated them for a long time. Not hate. I just kind of I felt like there were 7 out of 10s, and everyone kind of gives them, 10 out of 10 and 9 out of 10 and all that.
Yeah.
So now I'm at like a maybe 7.5 for Uncharted 2, maybe an 8. Uncharted 3 isn't impressing me as much. It kind of feels a little wonky, but whatever. Feels good to give the PS4. I bought that PS4, and it kind of feels good to play it a little bit. Get some money's worth out of that thing. And that's pretty much it.
Did you play the multiplayer on it all, Uncharted, or no?
No, I did back in the day when it was on the PS3, and it was it's like any. I'm not big on multiplayer, and I'm a total noob. You go in there, you're trying to learn it, and everybody knows the level inside and that stuff. I'm like, Yeah.
Quick Jackie Chan thing. Look this up on YouTube if you ever did. It's called Jackie Chan: How to Do Action Comedy. It's by Every Frame a Painting. It's a 5-year-old video, but it's a really good video. It's only like 10 minutes long, and he kind of picks apart, how he does action comedy and why he does it that way. And there's a lot of stuff like that, but that's like a short one, and it's just he explains Jackie Chan's brilliance just great. But sorry, Jackie Chan's one of my favorite martial artists. So you just saying that just sparks me down the rabbit hole of watching Jackie Chan clips and remembering stuff like that.
Yeah.
He's just brilliant. You could literally sit there all day and just watch Jackie Chan clips until you.
Yeah, it's getting really bad for me. I'm actually looking at a region-free Blu-ray player now, so I can start importing. It's very sad. It's very sad, but I'm getting right into it.
Awesome. Did you ever play the NES Jackie Chan game?
No, I did. I messed around with. Apparently, that game came out on the TurboGrafx 16 as well.
Okay.
So I messed around with that one a little bit. But that's pretty much it.
Okay. Cool.
So I guess I'll talk about what I've been doing.
What about you, Josh? What are you doing?
Nah, I mean, I just beat this game, Gato Roboto. I want to recommend it on here.
What?
It's called Gato Roboto. So you're a little cat. Okay, so the artwork is 2 colors, it's white and black. It's a pixel art game, like 8-bit style.
Where am I getting this game? Where is it?
You can get it on Steam,
Xbox,
PS4, anything. Switch if you want. And
terrible.
yes.
Same.
So pretty much if you guys play that game Zeo Drifter.
Yes.
It's like a Super Metroid-like game or Metroid-like game.
Love that game. Love it.
This game just reminds me of another Zeo Drifter, kind of. So So pretty much, you don't go back and forth like in Zeo Drifter, but it's a Metroidvania. You go through, you unlock these power-ups. The premise is you're a cat from the space captain. Your ship crashes, and the space captain is trapped inside the ship, and you're a cat that gets in a mech suit, and you level up the mech suit and go through the world. Silly premise, but I just had fun. It took me like 5 hours to play through. There's boss battles. They're not too hard. They're just pattern memory based and silly storyline and just a really fun game. Highly recommend that one. I think I played it on Game Pass. It might be on Game Pass for PC also. I'm not sure about that, but yeah. Just a fun little sit down, have a few hours, play through it. Good times. Cool. And also this month, I was doing the Cartridge Club Hangouts, and I realized I needed to upgrade my setup a little bit because I had these on-ear headphones for the longest time with the green wire. They're really, really crappy. They're actually over there. And my ear was almost swollen because that podcast was 3 hours and 20 minutes. I was sitting there with that headphone on, and I have this crappy computer chair. I'm going to upgrade this too. But I started going down the rabbit hole of audio headphones, and it took me so long to land on one that kind of did everything I wanted it to. I got these. They're Arctis 7s. They're decent. They're not the best headphones ever, but I got a good deal on them. But they work on everything. They work on PlayStation, Xbox, and legacy consoles, everything. So I was and PC, and then I can have mic monitoring when I'm doing podcasts, all that stuff. So it's I was so specific that I was driving myself crazy looking at YouTube reviews and all this stuff. I wanted to do all 50 of these things, and then it's just okay, it can't do everything I wanted to do, but let's find a happy medium. So I finally found a set that I actually like. So that was good. But yeah, I was like looking at computer chairs too, and then they got the gaming chairs that are like $700, and then like
Oh
all
my
this other
God.
crap. So I'm just like, okay, I'll probably just go to like a discount furniture store when I can actually go like browse in stores, which I can't really do right now, and sit in chairs. Like, I don't want to just order one online and then get it and hate it.
Those are like for those hardcore streamers and stuff. Yeah, or sitting there for like 8 hours a day streaming, aren't they?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know.
No, I'm
like,
not gonna
what
get
jerk
one of
would
those.
buy a gaming chair? That'd just be
Yeah.
ridiculous.
That's just
That's
just
ridiculous.
flexing at that point. Just
Yeah.
being a complete total flex for
A show off, you know.
show off,
Yeah.
douchebag, whatever. I
It's
mean,
not like as
there's-
if they needed a chair, and so they just went to the store to buy one and didn't think of when anyone thought of it. They wanted to show off.
Oh, God. By the way, I'm
Do
currently
you
installing.
think Ryan knows I am sitting in a gaming chair right now? Do you think?
You think you don't?
you
You think
think
you
he
can't
knows?
read my sarcasm?
No.
Just like
No.
you guys can't read the word "fine" properly.
Find.
Fine. Monday
Fine.
will be fine. Remember?
Oh my God.
Oh gosh.
Are we going down this?
No. I'm opening up old wounds. That's all I'm doing.
Monday will be fine. Are we recording Monday or Wednesday? He says after that. Okay. That's fine.
But yeah, so I was looking at computer chairs. I'm not going to spend a ton of money, so I'm looking at something for around like 100, 125. But I was just like sitting in this chair. I literally got this chair when we moved into this apartment because my other one broke when we moved, and I actually had a decent one. So I was like, okay, well, I have like $20, and I went to a thrift store and bought a chair, and I was like, I can clean it with a carpet cleaner. So I cleaned it with a carpet cleaner, and I've been using that chair ever since. I spent like $12 on it or something.
There
Nice.
you
Yeah,
go.
so it's a crappy chair, but it's been doing the job. But I'm just like,
Hey,
after
exactly.
sitting that long that other day, I mean, it was a fun podcast. I had a good time, but I'm like, I need comfort if I'm going to sit at this desk for
Mhm.
this long and do this.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I play PC games a lot here too, but I don't always wear headphones too on top of that. So it's like, if I have that, I'll be more likely to set my computer more often and do some more quick save stuff too, like play more Terraria and stuff. But and it was funny. The Jared from Retro Revolutions, he messaged me on Facebook because he has me on Facebook. And he's like, "Let's play Minecraft." And then I'm like, "Okay." So like the
Yeah,
beginning
you
of
were
last
telling me
month,
this. Yeah, you were
yeah,
telling me.
beginning of last month, I was playing Minecraft, and then Ryan's like, "You're playing Minecraft. That was 6 months ago. What are you doing?"
No, I gave him a private message just to get on his case. I'm just like, why are you playing Minecraft? It is April. You must be playing Terraria. I was just busting this chop. Just like, well, my friend told me to.
Yeah, just wanted to try a survival like challenge. You go into a ravine, you have to survive in the ravine. It was pretty fun.
Oh,
And
that sounds cool.
yeah, you go in the ravine, and then once you're in there, you can't leave. So you have to like, if you see an animal, you have to try to get a grass seed and bring them into the ravine and like kill it. And yeah, you can't leave ever. So it's kind of like survival without you ultra survival or whatever. It's like giving yourself more boundaries to go with. But yeah, besides that, I was doing RetroArch too. It's been a couple of weeks, but I like playing those Super Mario World ROMs, and I was kind of going into that.
Ones?
Yeah, the hacked ones. I haven't done it in years, and I was like, I have RetroArch installed. I can put the ROMs in there and play them. So I was playing like there's one called 12 Golden Orbs. It's like supposed to be like the most biggest one ever that's ever made. Like one of them at least has like over 300 worlds that you can go into and stuff. So I was playing that a little bit.
Heard of
sometimes.
that one? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm literally installing RetroArch right now as I'm.
Yeah, it makes it easy. It's very easy.
Because I'm still using all the individual ones, and I'm just like, it's all in one now.
Yeah, it's so convenient, and and it puts all your library all together too, and it even has like a quick, the stuff that you've loaded up and you've played. It'll even put it in a quick list, so it doesn't matter what system you played it on. It puts it all in that quick list, and you can just go back into the games. That way.
Does it do MAME emulator too? It does the arcade games?
I think it does MAME, but I think you have to like launch MAME to do the settings inside of MAME because you can launch MAME through there, but then you have to launch MAME. You know what I mean? It includes it in there, but like if you have your library for the arcade games, it'll launch MAME, and then you have to select it. Does that make sense?
I'm literally going to go down the rabbit hole after we're done with this podcast now, thanks to this. Thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah, no problem.
It's great. It's
you can
great.
sit there and mess with it forever. I was trying some DS games, and
I didn't know there was an all-in-one. That's how long it's been.
It even has GameCube stuff in there, and I was playing I like that Amazing Spider-Man game on GameCube. I was playing that and a couple other things.
Time Splitters 2.
Yeah. There you go.
Oh, my favorite console.
The only thing is they still haven't perfected that ability. Like, I would love to play those, like GoldenEye with the mouse and keyboard. Yeah, it's almost impossible. You have to still use the controller.
Yeah. They actually had a source port mod of that a while back. Did you ever try that out?
Yeah, it was multiplayer only, though.
Yeah, it was only multiplayer. So
but it was pretty cool. I only was able to play a few rounds with it, but it was really cool. I really liked it. Yeah. I wish they would do someone would just redo the entire single player in that. That would have been cool.
Yeah.
Do I want to run it now? No, I don't want to run it now. I will run it later, but that's what I'm definitely going to be doing. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, no, we said we were only going to record for an hour, and we haven't got to any of the questions yet. So
yeah, we can do that. Let's go ahead and do the questions here, man. So we've been chit-chatting, and then the last section we're going to do every month is hashtag Ask Quick Save, and this is being moved just to the save points. We're not, unless we decide to do some for the games of the month. Do you want?
Yeah, if someone has a question about the game itself, for the game of the month, But this will be
more general stuff. We got questions from Sky Captain.
It's only Sky Captain.
It's only Sky Captain.
Vance always has questions.
Should we call this Vance's Corner?
Sure.
Sky Captain's Corner. Just rip off STC Pod for
Captain's Corner.
Captain's Corner. Yeah, that's a good
Captain's Corner.
Captain with a K.
Yeah.
Captain's Corner.
Okay, so he actually asked these on the Discord. So Ryan, do you want to read the first one here?
Okay, this is something my brother and I discussed while playing another round of Age of Empire 2. What are some quote-unquote classic 5+-year-old games you keep going back to, and why? Is it the theme, art style, characters, mechanics, actors, etc.? There's actors in video games, so I guess so. There's voice actors. So classic. So basically, it's what classic games do you always find yourself playing over and over again? Like every year, you have to play a game, that kind of thing. That's a good question. You want to go first, Josh?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Old game I like to play a lot. I guess Yoshi's Island. Are we talking just PC games or what?
Anything.
Probably.
Yeah. Anything. Okay. Yeah. Yoshi's Island's one. I like playing old Tony Hawk games. I always go back to Tony Hawk all the time. Burnout games, really good.
Oh God, yeah.
I love Burnout Revenge. I think Revenge is my favorite, but I still love 3 a lot.
Yeah.
Paradise is really fun, but I have to be in the mood for it because of just the style of it.
I couldn't get into Paradise.
It's fun, but it's just like it's a different style of fun. Yeah. But I still like the entire Burnout series. 2 is pretty fun too. They're all really good. It's 5+ years. I do like to play GameCube games like the Amazing Spider-Man, like I was saying, and then I like playing Mario games. I go back and play Super Mario Sunshine. I know a lot of people don't like that game, but I love it. It's one of my favorites.
The funny thing, I watched a video today and someone said the same thing, where he referenced how he wished there was a Super Mario Sunshine theme in Mario Maker 2, and he goes, "Yeah, I know everyone hates the game, but it's my favorite game of all time."
Yeah, that's
everyone
one of those.
Everyone has to say that.
Yeah.
Why does everyone have to say that when they talk about Mario Sunshine? I think it's a fine game. Where's this hate for this game? I've never seen it, but everyone for some reason thinks they have to say, "I know everyone hates it, but it's my favorite Mario of all time." I don't get it. That's
game's garbage.
Game's garbage.
Game's garbage. It's absolute trash.
Absolutely.
I hate it.
I love it. I'm not going to change my opinion on that.
Open world Mario game, just dumb idea. It doesn't work. I hate it.
Did you like Mario Odyssey? It's kind of similar idea.
I tolerated Mario Odyssey. I thought it was all right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then obvious one, which should be obvious, is Minecraft. I play that. I still have a world I just do stuff on all the time in that game. It's still fun. Dude, have y'all seen the Nether update stuff? Oh my God. It's going to be amazing. They're adding 4 biomes to the Nether. So they're adding like new creatures and like new like treasure areas, like all sorts. Like they had a material that's stronger than diamond now that you can find in the Nether only. So you can put it on your pickaxes and stuff, and so if you die in lava with this, it's called netherite on your like pickaxes or armor and stuff. It floats in lava, so you can go back and get it if you die and they don't get destroyed, which is pretty cool. So those are some older games to play a lot. What about you, Kevin?
Oh man, 5 year.
lot?
I like just everything. I do. For the longest time, I was playing Super Metroid and Half-Life every year. I probably would play through those, but I haven't done that. It's been very sporadic. I played like I would play lately. I would play a Metroid from the past that I haven't played in a while, like a Game Boy Advance one or whatever. But yeah, I'm always going back to older games, trying to go like stuff that I might have missed or whatever. Like I just replayed the Quake games 1 and 2 not too long ago. I'm trying to get back to Unreal again because I don't think I ever finished that game. It's a game that I think I played like the opening to it probably about 10 times. I never finished it.
You're kind of rediscovering these games though. But what is like the games that you have to play every year? At least
I don't think there's anything that I have to play.
Oh, okay.
No. I'm like there's so much out there that I haven't got to yet.
Okay.
But like I do like my racing games. Like you stole my Burnout. Burnout would be like I always go back and play those because they don't make them anymore either. Need for Speed, I love putting those in and messing around with those. Well, it's nothing that I have to play every year, but like I go back and I play games all the time. That I played Soldier of Fortune. I just played through that.
Jeez, I forgot about that one.
Yeah,
that was the one where dismemberment was their big selling point or whatever.
Yeah, it holds up. That was still a fun game.
First one does. The second one's
not good. No, I tried and I was like, oh man, there's something missing with this one. It's not as good.
Didn't they make a third one too?
Yeah, and that one was like I think it was like Xbox 360 era and PS3 era, and yeah, that one was good. Duke Nukem, of course, go back and play that all the time.
Yeah,
I was messing around with Blood. It's just Doom. Been playing the Doom games.
You played Doom 64. Did you like it? I was playing it a little bit the other day.
It was all right. It's okay. It's like I would say it's like a 7 out of 10 for a first-person shooter that came out in the 90s, and maybe a 6 for a Doom game. There wasn't enough enemies and franticness, and it was missing the music too.
Yeah,
I didn't like the soundtracks.
Silent almost, like it was weird. I don't know.
Sound effects. It was sound effects like knocking and babies crying, and I want the meta. When I'm playing a Doom game, give me the meta.
Yeah, exactly.
One game I did forget to mention is I have a Dreamcast hooked up, and the only thing that's ever been in that Dreamcast, I think, since I got it, is Crazy Taxi. And I play Crazy Taxi like all the time. I love it. It's like one of those I could pop on, play a couple matches, and just be like, all right, I'm good. Yeah, it's fun.
Hydro Thunder for me. That's always my like. If the Dreamcast gets pulled out, I'm putting Hydro Thunder in there.
Yeah.
Soul Edge 2 or Soul Blade 2, whatever it is. I love that fighting game. That was great.
Soul Calibur?
So yeah, it was Soul Edge, Soul Calibur. They had I can't remember what
1, right? Soul Calibur 1 was on there.
Now I'm confused. Yeah.
The original Soul series.
Yeah.
I like Soul Calibur 2 a lot. It's good game.
Yeah. It was probably the original one you're talking about, yeah. But it was good. It was good. I haven't played it. Oh, and I also had Street Fighter Alpha 3 on the Dreamcast, which is apparently the superior version versus the PS2 version. So,
what's some older games you like, Ryan?
Oh, well, yes. I guess I'd have to say games that I come back to if I am going to talk about console. Right now, I don't have my Wii set up, but Burnout 2 was the game that we used to just stay up all night playing that. I remember when my brother-in-law, when he didn't live here, he would come and visit, and we would play Burnout 2, and then me and my wife would go to bed because he'd stay at our place when he'd come visit, and then we'd wake up and he'd still be there playing Burnout 2 in the morning. That's just how much we'd play it. It'd still throw that in there, along with Time Splitters 2. So if I did have my console, I'd go back to that. But when it comes to PC games, I love to go back to the old stuff like and like right now, I'm like really big into finding really cool mods for Doom, like Brutal Doom, like that just had a new update that came out and stuff like that, and uh, uh, I think there was for Duke Nukem 3D when we did that for our game of the month. I found some really cool mods for that. So it's like I still go back to that game, but I try to find what people have done to that game in the meantime, if they've made it better, converted it to something else, stuff like that. So yeah, I go back to Duke 3D. I go back to Doom and that kind of stuff, and of course there's a couple Mario games thrown in there from time to time. But it's mostly I kind of get nostalgic. I look at the game and then I go, I wonder what else has happened with this game since I've last played it.
Yeah.
And of course, every year I have to play Terraria. Is Terraria 5 years old? What did we figure out when it came out?
It's 2013. I think it's
2013.
2012
so,
maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know, somewhere around there.
Yeah, and that's just one of those games where if I find it's like you in Minecraft, it's you got to go in and you play it, and you just can't like just play it for a little bit. You kind of just fall down that rabbit hole and you play it for hours and days on end. But so those are kind of it. Just rediscovering the old games and seeing if the fandom is still there to make it fresh and new. Unreal Tournament is another one where I think you can still find really cool like mods and stuff for it. So
sweet. Okay, the second question, Mr. on our Captain's Corner was, how does everyone feel about remasters of games? Was there one that felt more like a quick cash grab or really did the game justice? Or are there any remasters you're looking forward to or any you wish would be remastered? And if so, what would you change or leave the same? Kevin.
It was really cool because right before this, Ryan and I were talking about Darksiders and how they remastered that game. And if you owned the original game on Steam, they just gave you the updated remaster. So I have no issue with that. That's awesome if they're going to do something like that. And I think like remasters on consoles and that, generally I'm okay with them. That's pretty cool. Like people like, oh, you're going to make us buy this game again. We have to play this game again. You're forcing this game down our throat. None of those things are happening. No. They are just porting the game to a new console. Someone who didn't have a PlayStation 2 now has a PlayStation 3, and they can play the Jack and Dexter or Ratchet and Clank games now. That's all that is,
Yeah.
I have zero problem with that at all. Now, there are examples of bad remasters. I got my top two that I absolutely hate are Bulletstorm and Hard Reset. Hard Reset when it was really bad because all they did was basically tweak the game a bit. And if you wanted those tweaks, which basically the original game I found was a little bit, I'm not going to say broken, but it was really unnecessarily hard. And there was some AI in it that was just a little bit wacky. So they went and they tweaked the game. And that should have been an update to me. But instead, they brought it out as Hard Reset Redux. Yeah. And if you wanted those changes, you had to pay for them. Now, eventually, I did buy it on an extreme sale. I think I paid like $1.30 for it. But still, that was a tough $1.30 for me to swallow. I felt like as if I should not have had to pay for an update like that at all. Hold on, I got one more.
Okay.
My second most worst is Bulletstorm. On the PC specifically. I hated the remaster of this game because I had already bought the game and it was a game for Windows Live game, and they just stopped supporting game for Windows Live, and the game just you could still download it, but you couldn't activate it. You couldn't get it to run anymore. Mm-hmm. And one nice thing, like Dirt 3, this is another good example. Dirt 3 had game for Windows Live. Another one was Flatout Ultimate, or like the Flatout 2 remaster thing, whatever that thing was. Those were game for Windows Lives. When they brought them over to Steam, they just said, okay, here, you got the Steam version now. If you got a code, you just type it in. There was a time limit. You had to do it within like a year and a half or whatever. Okay. But if you put your game for Windows Live code into Steam, you got the game. And Dirt 3, Codemasters even gave you the all the DLC So even if you had the regular edition, it was like, you know what, you're getting the everything. So I got the entire game again on a different platform for free. That is awesome. Bulletstorm did not do that, and instead put out the game again on Steam and added Duke Nukem to it and said, hey, if you want this game again, you're gonna have to buy it again. That was another. I did eventually buy it. It was $11. That was a hard, tough $11 for me to swallow. So generally, I'm okay with them, but those two, like instances like that, that's where it bothers me.
Yeah, does Gearbox publish them now? Bulletstorm? Is that what Gearbox thing?
Yeah, part of it was that. Like, I think it was an EA game originally, but then, like, it was People Can Fly made that game, and I don't know what happened. Like,
People Can Fly is still around. They're making a game for Square Enix now, I think, or something. Yeah.
Right, but see, they were owned by
Microsoft, right?
It's a mess because they were doing work with Epic Games as well, right?
Yeah,
so
I don't know
what People Can Fly kind of ended up in this weird thing, and I think Bulletstorm is taken away from them, and it's Gearbox's game now. So Gearbox is basically like, we bought this game, we bought this thing, we want to charge money for it again. So
let's just throw Duke Nukem in there. I don't know. I'm just not a huge fan of Gearbox lately, just in general. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, they made Borderlands 2. It's a masterpiece.
Borderlands 3 is really fun. It doesn't reach the heights of 2, but I still had a good time with it. But I feel like their business stuff. If you look into any of it, you're kind of like, I feel kind of, I don't really like supporting them.
Look what they did with that Aliens game, and they just screwed Sega over on that Colonial Marines thing. They just took the money and ran.
I mean, we could talk about bad management there. Like, they were supposed to get a huge bonus for Borderlands 3, and then he's like, oh, well, it's not going to happen. The game costs more than we expected, so if you don't like it, you can quit. It literally just happened. Like, the stuff like that, I don't know.
They made all that money, and then they're like, no, we're going to keep it.
It's kind of crappy.
I saw that tweet. I think I even retweeted it, and I'm just like, WTF, like, what the...
Well, I haven't bought Borderlands 3 yet. I'm going to buy it on a heavy discount because...
It's enjoyable. It's a good game, and the humor didn't change. It's still Borderlands. It's wacky and fun, but yeah. What were we talking about? Remaster games.
Games. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Don't worry. There'll be a remaster of that. There was a remaster of the original Borderlands, actually.
Well, and actually, they did give us that one for free, so that was pretty nice of them. And then, you did get 2 in the Handsome. That was the Handsome Jack collection or whatever.
Handsome Jack, kind of. That was like DLC, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah. It was Borderlands 2 and Borderlands prequel in one package. So I guess their remasters aren't too bad when it comes to Borderlands. It's just I don't know, they really screwed over Bulletstorm.
But I guess for what I would say about remasters is I really like them a lot of times, especially with polygonal games, because they can take a 720p game and make it 4K. You know what I mean? I know that's probably been like that. On PC, it kind of doesn't matter as much, but they can actually take, say, like BioShock, right? It was made for consoles, so it's going to have like lower res textures in the environment. They can take and put better textures in the game, and it improves it across every platform. That was another one that I replayed BioShock Infinite on. They did the HD or whatever when a PS4 came out, and it looked a lot better. And I have it on PC, and they gave us the better version on PC, the BioShock collection. So I was like, that's pretty cool. Yeah. Cool. And then there's like the remasters that kind of like remake the game a little bit or like improve it, like they did the Resident Evil 2 and then Final Fantasy 7, which I haven't played those.
That's a remake. That's not a remaster.
Yeah. I think the best remaster I've seen though is the Shadow of the Colossus one they did for PS4. They went through the entire engine and just completely changed everything. I mean, it's the same exact game, but they just they made it more beautiful, pretty much. And that game is already beautiful from the first playthrough of it, but they just like completely overhauled everything in that game, and it just adds to that increased awe that you get from fighting those crazy colossuses and stuff, or colossi, I should say. I guess what was the other question? Like, what remasters we want, or is that part of it? Or
are there any remasters you're looking forward to or wish would be remastered? And if so would you change or leave the same?
Okay. One that I'm looking forward to that just got announced is Saints Row the Third. They're remastering that, which that's going to be awesome.
That seems a little weird to me, especially on PC. I mean, like that. I just played it on PC not too long ago again with the RF Gen crew back in the fall. That game, like, there's nothing wrong
Still
with
looks
it.
pretty great, but they're changing it. They're adding better textures, better lighting, better effects, and everything. And it's another excuse for me to replay the game with a nice little touch up. I don't know.
See, if they gave that, to me, those are tweaks. Like, if they gave that to me for free, sure, why not? If you're gonna upgrade my game like that, but like,
yeah,
I
I'm
don't know,
looking forward to it just to play it
again.
again. Yeah, I just want to play it again. Another one I want is there's a rumor for the Mario remasters for like they were gonna remaster 64 and Sunshine and all those, and I was like, and what was the other one? Galaxy. They were gonna do a bundle pack with all of them HD, and that was like the big rumor like a couple months ago. And I'm like, oh, that sounds awesome, but it doesn't feel very likely. I mean, it might happen, but if it does, I'd buy those in an instant. Play Mario Galaxy without the waggle and in HD. I would love that. That Mario Galaxy is one of the best games like ever in my book. So, yeah. Okay, go ahead, Ryan.
Basically, yeah, you guys kind of covered it all. I could care less. Like sometimes there are games that get a remaster. I'm like, why? Like, what was the one you referenced, Kevin? It was the
Hard Reset.
Yeah, Hard Reset. Like I own that game. That game looked good to me as it was, and yeah, it was a little hard. I'm just like, why'd that need a remaster? Or like, and I get it on some level, but with some games, but you see a game and the graphics still hold up to this day, and it's just like, I guess as long as they're giving it to you for free, I'm okay with it. And I do get it for the people who never played the original, so they can do it. But me personally, like, unless they're giving it to me for free, if I already own the OG version of the game, I'm probably not going to dish out for a new one if I already own it. Unless if it's part of some bundle pack that just puts it all in one spot and it's worth the time or worth the whatever. But, but otherwise, it's, I never really cared too much one way or another about remasters, and is never really like the Mario games out. That'll be cool. It'd be nice to see that come to the Switch and stuff so I can share those games with my kids, because I was playing Galaxy when my oldest was, first born. I remember, I remember beating Bowser with him in my lap, So it would be kind of cool to see those games if they came out, and he'd get to experience that again on the Switch and that. But then again, all I have to do is hook up my Wii and have him play it that way, So
yeah.
So it's neither here nor there. And as for the Saints Row, I'm gonna be down on it. I never thought the graphics were good on that. I liked the game, but I never thought the graphics were good compared to if you looked at Grand Theft Auto or other open world games. I thought if that did need a remaster, that actually made sense to me, because I thought the graphics weren't really that great. It seemed almost like they tried upscaling like PS2 graphics to me.
Oh no, I disagree. I think the graphics in
I guess you could say they're being stylized. So
right, it's a little more cartoony, and it's meant to fit their sense of humor. And if it looked like Grand Theft Auto,
I wasn't saying it had to though.
I'm saying if it did, if that game looked like Grand Theft Auto 4 or 5, the humor that they're going for wouldn't be as funny.
Well,
I think it looks fine. I still think it looks fine.
Yeah, I still do too.
A remaster that maybe that didn't need to happen, but I really liked it, was the Wind Waker remaster for Wii U. They really improved the way that game looked. I mean, it looked you could still pull out your GameCube and it looks amazing still, but like just the way they upgraded that game was just awesome. So
well, they also tweaked, like, you didn't have to wait 6 hours for you to sail to an island off in the corner of the map. Like, they improved on that. So that was a good improvement too. I didn't mention some games that I wish were remastered, and we kind of mentioned them already. I wrote it down though before anyone mentioned it. The Grand Theft Auto games, 3, Vice City, and San Andreas, all great games. If they didn't touch the graphics, I'd be fine with that. I just think the controls really haven't aged well, and maybe some improve the GPS. Like, there was so many improvements even from the third game to San Andreas. If they brought the improvements that they made in San Andreas and ported them into the first two games, that would be great. There's just some things in those games that haven't aged well and kind of make it hard to go back and play. So I'd be all for remaster of those games.
Those are awesome games.
I haven't looked it up in quite some time, but there was someone who's and for all I know, Rockstar might have shut it down since then. But someone in San Andreas was making a mod that connected Grand Theft Auto 3's Liberty City, Vice City, and San Andreas all into one world in the San Andreas, and it also upscaled like the textures, and like they were like redid the textures to make them look real world and stuff like that. Like that was an option to download because it was actual HD textures. So yeah, so that was kind of.
I think you just described Grand Theft Auto 5.
Basically, but
yeah.
But this is just kind of a mod. It was a pretty big underscale, but they literally just attached the 3 games together,
Right.
and then the mod for upscaling the graphics I think might have been separate, but yeah. So that would be an interesting repackage where they took the 3 games and literally combined it together somehow. That would be interesting.
Just make that Grand Theft Auto 6 with the GTA 5 engine and make it look amazing. Yeah.
The only problem is each story happens in a different timeline, so it would be
get a DeLorean in there, go Back to the Future.
There you go.
Or basically based on this would be cool. Based on what character you're playing as, will automatically convert the timeline to that time. So like if you play as I can't remember the guy from Vice City, like everything will be 80s themed. But then if you jump over to San Andreas, sorry, I can't remember the guy's name. CJ, then everything will turn into like 90s themed and stuff. Like that'd be pretty boss, actually.
Complicated.
Complicated.
Can I admit something? I think I was like about 5 or 6 hours into San Andreas before I realized that it took place in the 90s.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, everything seems so modern to me. Like, around bikes or in the hood and all that. I can't remember. There was something I was like, oh, is this the 90s? Am I in the 90s right now? Kind of out of it. Sorry.
Yeah.
You good? Go ahead and read that last question, Kevin.
A time has progressed. I think he means, okay, I got it. As time has progressed, how has your game news sources changed? I struggle with the wording. Okay. Captain, this isn't your best question wording wise, but we get the. He wants to know how have we changed our way of looking at news. For example, magazines, websites, Twitter. Are there any that have disappeared and you want back? Sites, people you avoid or give credit to? To me, Ryan and his cousin have an amazing track record of spreading the news about awesome indie games. Yeah, I agree. For me, right now, it's mostly just other people. I really don't pay attention to any of it anymore because I just don't care as much. I like it when I'm talking to people and they tell me things. I'm like, oh, really? This is happening or whatever. That's good. You guys are up on it or whatever. Mm-hmm. Even like I used to be all about E3 and all that, and I don't care anymore. Yeah. There was a show here in Canada called Electric Playground, hosted by Victor Lucas, and Tommy Tallarico was on it for a long time. And I used to watch that all the time. Now Victor Lucas, like the show's been basically taken off of the air. Victor Lucas is on YouTube, and he does a solid job there on YouTube. And I tune in there once in a while and watch his stuff, so he's still around. But for as the magazines and all that stuff, I don't really miss any of it. It's I just I don't need to be up on it all. Everybody already knows, so they'll tell you, and they're all on Twitter. so you'll see a tweet about it eventually.
I agree. You forget the one news outlet that we actually met, and that was IGN.
That's right. Yeah, we were both writing on IGN. I used to be big on IGN.
Mm-hmm. IGN used to have a pretty good community. I don't know how it is now, but that's where I started my. At first, I think I was the Wii Gamer ranting because I was big into Wii at the time, which was a dumb name. But then I slowly transitioned to the Retro Gamer ranting moniker. But I would do reviews for Wii games and stuff like that. And that's where I met Baron and Mars. And then and I would use IGN back in the day when it wasn't crap, when it actually seemed like their reviews meant something. But then after a while, like most of those outlets, like GameStop, or not GameStop, but Game
Informer,
Game Informer, those, like, after a while, it just seemed like the reviews were more pandering than anything else.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, they wanted to get their early release, and if they said something bad, they wouldn't get their early release. So I kind of got away from IGN, and for a while I would look on YouTube. But early on, it was stuff like Nintendo Power, and I was a long-term subscriber to PC Gamer Magazine.
Yeah.
And I loved PC Gamer Magazine, and Coconut Monkey was their mascot. I don't know if they still have that as their mascot. I have a poster, actually, from their 500th thing still on my wall. And PC Gamer was my go-to. I loved PC Gamer. I loved, they'd always give free discs with demos, mods, free games. So it was something I'd always look forward to. I have like 3 or 4 totes at my parents' house right now, just full of back issues from PC Gamer. That was kind of my go-to thing. And then, I got to college and, left kind of paper stuff behind, and just at that point I'd look on IGN and stuff. But now it's basically like Kevin says, I get all my information from either word of mouth or just me being curious or looking around on Twitter or YouTube,
I guess I do follow PC Gamer on Twitter, so they do inform me on some things.
Yeah,
I
me
comment
too.
there. And Rock Paper Shotgun, they're like
I like Rock Paper Shotgun a lot.
Yeah, they're like a British PC focused thing. So I follow a couple things on there, but like I don't follow PlayStation and Xbox and Nintendo and all that stuff.
I do.
It's fine. Like I don't, not knocking anyone that does it. I just I don't really
care as much. You mean you find out, you'll find out type of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. For me, it's a podcast. Pretty much. Every podcast, not every podcast, but a lot of gaming podcasts will do like gaming news. So I get it from there. I like Kind of Funny podcast. They do like a weekly, like a everyday news show, which I don't listen to every episode, but if like there's a couple of interesting things that I want to hear them talk about, I'll go listen to that. Even I've been listening to those type of podcasts forever, so that's where a lot of my news comes from. I used to love G4 TV. I liked X-Play and all those things back in the day.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
They don't make them like that anymore.
Yeah, and I go back and watch old episodes. That's how much I used to love it as a kid. And then, yeah. And then I used to subscribe to official PlayStation magazine, mostly for the demos, and I used to love that and then read it and obsess about games that I possibly could get. But yeah, now it's mostly like Twitter and podcast. I used to keep up with Kotaku a lot, and then that site got really weird, and I don't really pay attention to them anymore.
Yeah, I used to be big into them too. They used to do some really solid journalism too. Like I remember when they that whole Dennis Dyack thing and Silicon Knights, and they broke that thing all down, and that was like some really good investigative journalism. And then they just became clickbait city.
Yeah, so
just everything was clickbait. It's like
there was one left journalist that I would read his articles, Jason Schreier, which he actually still does stuff like that, like the research and stuff. But he's going to Bloomberg, I think, now. So pretty much he kind of that's the last person I would read there. Now I don't read it at all. So for anything like online articles and stuff, I don't really pay too much attention. Like I'll occasionally read a news story here and there, but it's mostly just Twitter. Twitter keeps me up to date for the most part. And there's a good review channel I would like to recommend is ACG. Have you ever watched his reviews? I think it's like Angry Centaur Gaming. No. He's a very popular like reviewer. He'll break it down per section, like graphics, gameplay, music, and it's like they're all like 20-minute reviews, and they're like really in depth. So if there's a game like I'm not really sure about, I'll watch his reviews. Like I really trust his opinion and the way he breaks it down. So I think that's a really great YouTube channel to like get a recommendation for a game. Or he does like a system like maybe you should buy it or wait for a sale or just pass. That's how he does it. He doesn't give it like a score. So it's like, oh, maybe wait for a sale on this one, or this one's terrible, don't even bother, or this one's great, go buy it right now. So I like that channel quite a bit. But yeah, I think that we answered everything satisfactorily, huh?
Yeah, I think so.
The tier list. What's this, Ryan? You added this.
I just put that in. It was something I was knocking around. Like if we had time, we don't need to do it this time. We can do it next time. The tier list was basically I wanted to make a list of the first one I wanted to do was best years to be a PC gamer, late '90s to 2000, and I have from '96 to 2000 all the top games, and we'd go over it and rank which year was the best year, going down to the worst, which would be hard to do. A lot of things with tiers is you could put anything in the top tier if you wanted to, but in this case, we probably would have put almost every year in the top year, so I think I was going to just limit it to that. But you know what? We can pass on that. We can save it for next time. We've already went over our allotted time, if you want.
Okay, I was curious.
When it comes to those kind of questions, I always say right now is the best time because you can go back to all those games from 1996 to 2000 and play them all.
But if you were growing up in that time, I mean, seriously, 96 to 2000. Let me see here. Like 96 alone had Quake, Diablo, Duke Nukem 3D, Sid Meier's Civilization 2,
I can play
Command
all
and
those
Conquer Red Alert. Yeah, no,
2020.
I know.
Play them right now.
Although it did have Bad Mojo, which I don't know. But I'm just saying you gotta live in the moment. That's what.
But year did MDK come out? That was the best year.
MDK 2 came out.
No, not 2. 1. The first one.
The first one. Don't know.
Okay, I did that. Sorry, I just.
You're good. All right, let's go ahead and wrap it up, guys. We're still playing Terraria. How much have you all played of Terraria this month? What do you think?
Oh, an obscene amount, to be honest.
Nice.
I haven't been on the server as much because I've been playing a lot with Sarah, and she has been playing it every night, at least a couple of hours every night. Now she doesn't play the game; she just digs. She just tunnels. That's it, and she's building a house. Like she's collecting things and putting in her house, almost like what Dean was doing.
Good Lord.
Yeah, but we'll say that for next month. But I don't know how much I should say, how much I shouldn't say.
Just top level. Do you like the game, and are you excited to play more? I guess I don't know.
Well,
you don't want to go too in depth because we're going to do that next time.
Okay, I'll say this. I like the game. I think I have had enough, and another month is a little daunting.
The problem is you've only scratched the surface of it. That's the thing.
Here's the thing.
You need to get to hard mode.
I don't think I want to scratch anymore. I think my itch has been itched, and any more would just be overkill, and I'd be digging into my skin and getting irritated.
You're getting irritated. Well, okay.
I don't want to get too much into it. I don't want to give the full review. But I'm just saying now that's how I'm feeling now. Maybe
it could change
by the end of the month. There's a big update and all that, and maybe this hard mode will just blow my socks off. So who knows? Maybe by the end of the month I will change. But right now, I played a lot of it. I liked it. I do like it.
Have you fought any of the bosses on your own?
Well, that eyeball one has come out a few times, and then the slime guy keeps coming out once in a while. Slime King.
Right. You're playing way too cautiously. Way too cautiously. Oh my God.
No,
no, it's okay. No, that's the fun thing about it is you can play it very casually. Or
I looked up how to summon another boss, and it seems like as if there's 20 steps to get there, and I don't want to do the steps to get there. And I'm kind of like, yeah, you know what? I don't feel like it. I've got it done. I'm sorry. I don't hate the game. I'm liking it. I'm just kind of done.
Okay.
I've reached the saturation point. I'm saturated.
Like still got a whole month of it, so
I know.
You gotta play more.
Got another month. You gotta play more.
So I gotta barf something out to make some room in my bucket, so I can.
You gotta barf something out.
So I can get some more Terraria in me.
Don't be afraid to craft. Don't be afraid to craft.
Oh, I'm not. I just kind of don't want to. It's not a fear. It's not like, oh, if I do this, I'm just like, I don't really want to do all that.
And so for me, I've probably put only like 10 or 15 hours in, but I've been a hermit. I've been playing by myself. Just slowly, the The ramp up for this game is way slower than I remember. I mean, it takes a long time to get like prepped to do boss battles and stuff. So I can see if you play like a lot, and you're like, you don't agree with me, do you? But you played like hundreds and thousands of hours of this game, so I'm like, For me, it's taking me a lot longer to ramp up. I'm slowly getting to the point.
So here's the thing.
I did beat Cthulhu.
I'm at 43 hours. 43 hours in. And I think before I was 13. I had 13 hours. So I played a lot of this game.
Well, yes, there's a lot of this game, but there's a lot more to it. And here's the thing, and this is where I think people run into an issue with it, is I think people play too cautiously sometimes. And they try to over-prepare for, like, the first boss or the second boss and stuff like that. And, yeah, sometimes it's hard to come by hearts and other stuff with it. And one of the things I learned early on is, like, if you're so worried about dying, which you got to just get past that and just be willing to die a couple of times, or you're so worried about being on, because the problem is when we did finally fight the bosses on our server, we over-prepared for them. We were able to annihilate the Eater of Worlds, Skeletron, and Aya Cthulhu pretty easily, just like the three of us at the time.
And the bee.
And the bee as well. We fought the bee later, which I went back and grinded him. I finally got my bee gun. I had to kill him 5 more times, and he finally dropped the bee gun for me. So I was quite happy with that.
I could have just had mine. I didn't really.
You didn't offer it to me.
I'm sorry. I didn't know you wanted it. I didn't know you wanted it that bad.
All I kept doing was ranting. I wish he'd dropped the bee gun when we were fighting it.
You didn't ask me, though. If you said, hey, can I have your bee gun? Then I would have given it to you.
Yeah. So I think the experience kind of comes by, you can be overly cautious, but, the problem comes down to, like, if you over-prepare, then, some things might come across too easy, and then the challenge might not be there. But again, there was like 3 of us fighting the boss at the time, so that might have been it as well. So it's like, my recommendation is to play risky. Like, I've watched speedrunners play this game that fought all the bosses, first night, second night, third night, the first 3 bosses on the surface they would do. And they, just by finding the stuff they needed to or that kind of thing. So that's my kind of recommendation. If you've never played it before, be cautious, but once you get your bearings, start anew, be a little more risky. Don't be afraid of the bosses. Don't be afraid of dying. That's kind of my recommendation. But
okay. So it's a little mixed right now so far, but
I like the game. I don't. There's no mix.
We
all like it.
We all like
it. You got that curmudgeon sound to your voice.
I played 43 hours. Do you know how many games I played 43 hours of? Not a lot.
That's true.
43 hours. I'm just at the saturation point. You're just kind of like, okay. Same with Minecraft. I played a lot of Minecraft. I get reach a saturation point. I'm like, you know what? I'm good. I'm good. I played enough Minecraft right now.
So, okay.
I see what you mean. All right. Well, we have a multiplayer server. If you guys want to check that out, you can go to our Discord. Links in our Twitter. I don't remember the short link right now.
It should be pinned in our multiplayer. Like you can pin a thing and it'll say.
You can just DM me and I'll give you it if you need it.
Or you can DM him. Please, if you do join our server, do not be a jerk and do not steal things from people and be kind, rewind, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
All that typical stuff. If someone does jump in and is a jerk, then I would have to rewind stuff and people would lose things and that would be very bad and we will be very angry with you. So as always,
anyone can steal from me. Go right ahead. But Dean's got a lot much nicer stuff.
Dean has a lot nicer stuff.
So go ahead, if you want to steal. But I'm just saying, Dean's got a lot nicer stuff than I got.
There are community chests in the middle of the spawn point where people can put stuff they don't want, and you can freely take from that all you want. Although it's been pretty picked through, it looks like. So someone came through and grabbed all the good stuff from it already at this point. But I've been having fun with it. I do want to get people together so we can finally go down into hell and fight the Wall of Flesh. Hopefully soon. Hopefully this week. I don't know. Maybe I'll just go and put it in hard mode tonight. Just go down there and say, screw you guys, put it in hard mode. No, just kidding. I'm not going to do that. But yeah, so yeah.
Sweet.
Awesome.
All right.
Discord, server.
I think we said everything we're going to say. Thank you guys for listening to this. Welcome all new listeners from the Cartridge Club feed here. We're looking forward to hearing hearing. We look forward to talking into your ear holes. I don't know what I'm saying now. We look forward to.
We
I'm
look
sorry.
forward to entertaining you.
Hopefully, yeah. There we go. I don't know what I was trying to say there.
No, I get it. I get it.
Yes, yes. All right. That's it. We're done. Time to crash the computer here.
Check out Retro Fandango on YouTube.
Oh yeah, we do our plugs. Okay, Retro Fandango.
I snuck one in there.
Oh,
On YouTube. Go to YouTube. Retro Fandango. There you go.
You want to plug your stuff?
you can check me out at Retro Gamer Ranting on Twitter, just with no ing, with an N at the end because I made it too long. Otherwise, you can also just look me up on YouTube, either at Twitch H or just look up Retro Gamer Ranting. I have a bunch of old stuff on there. I might put up something new. Playing Terraria has gotten the itch. I might make a Terraria video here soon. And I'm also on Twitch, which sometimes I live stream, but not often. So there we go.
Oh, wait. I got a question. Is it okay? I know we're going a little long, but I got a question.
You're fine. Go ahead.
What's because we had a free server. You were looking at a free server for Terraria, and then you bought one for $5, right? $5 a month.
$5 a month.
What did the $5 get you? Like, what's the?
It gave me. I'd have to look. Like, I don't understand it all. It gives you more space on the server. Like, I don't get. I'm the worst person to explain it. But basically, the reason why I went from free to the $5 is every hour I would have to log in to the server and say I was still interested in keeping it.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
plus
that's worth $5 right there.
Yeah. So it would only give me an hour and then go, you have to renew. Plus, ads would show up while you were playing Terraria beneath the thing saying you have to renew. So I would literally have to every hour go in and renew my free thing. So yeah, if you're only going to be playing for a few hours and you want a server, that's fine. But I'm like, it's $5, and so I got it for 2 months for $10 for 2 months, and I might expand it if
there's interest.
People want to.
Right.
I can, and I'm going to do this as well when we're all done. I can back up the map itself, and I will probably post it on Discord or something, so people can download it and put it in with their files, and so they'll have their own copy of the map. It won't be multiplayer anymore, unless if they make it multiplayer. But then so if you did something on the map and you want to keep it, I will, when this is all over with, make a copy of the map that we're playing on, and I'll put it on Discord so you can play it on your own time, single player or whatever. So that will be. So yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll plug myself at Frantic Society on Twitter. Frantic Thoughts Podcast. It's coming back soon, and I am on the Cartridge Club stuff all the time, hangouts and occasional game of the months as well on here now. Yeah. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. That's it.
I think that's it. Yeah, I think we did. All right. Sorry, I felt like I was trying to cut you guys off for a minute there. Like, all right, let's go. Let's leave. All right.
No, we need somebody to move this thing along. So I'm glad it's somebody else other than me for a change.
Hey, I resisted doing the tier list this month, but that's because the questions overran. So
All right, that's our first save point. Thanks everybody for listening, and we look forward to more. Next month we will be doing Terraria as our game of the months. And I guess it's time to crash the computer.
Bonk.
Bonk.
Bye. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.